What's going on YouTube? It's your boy JJ here with more Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. Last time we made our way to Celestic Town, met Cynthia's grandma, saved the town from Team Galactic, and got the TM for Surf. In today's episode, we're actually here in Bicelacion Town, here to actually finally explore the Lost Tower. I mentioned this place earlier when we were going through this area initially, but I didn't go in here because I wanted to explore it in a later date, forgetting that there's actually something required in here. And now we're taking our time to finally go through it. Unfortunately, because I skipped it the first time around, the trainers in here should be rather lot lower level than necessary. Here's a Stunky, and this Stunky is, well, depending on much like sure to get some extra experience on it too, but this Stunky is level 16. Yeah, because the levels in here are a lot lower than what was outside. Well, they will match what was outside, but because we skipped it earlier, we kind of missed out on some of the stuff that's available. And the gamble failed on that. But it is what it is. We have plenty of potions, and we have antidotes too. But because of Munchlax's low speed, I doubt it'll actually be able to go first most of the time here. I have the Quick Claw on Kricketune, which I will be handing over to Munchlax and Snorlax when Munchlax evolves, but I really needed to have this Soothe Bell just so it can gain some happiness. Thankfully that's something that did not have Aftermath. Shellos. We still have some pretty decent special defense even after that Acid Spray, so first off we're going to kill off this poison, so I think we can tank at least one hit. And Munchlax has 140 HP already. Well, to be fair, Snorlax is a tank through and through. Okay, so I doubt we're actually going to land this, but I tried it once. Let's try it again. It'll probably tank a Body Slam by now too, but it is what it is. Ah! I tried it at least. Oh god. No! If it misses, I'm going to switch out. And we still OHKO. That was not an affection crit though, but it is what it is. At least Munchlax managed to KO. His own Kricketune now. Go back to Infernape. We were using Infernape a bit last episode. It's the same level as the rest of the team, which I don't normally mind too much, but it would be nice to have our starter be the highest leveled. Also, it is good to use Munchlax a bit more now, because this is the only chance we have to use him for this episode, for what I have planned for now, because we have 4 badges now, the next gym is actually Fantina. And Fantina is a ghost type trainer, so we have no way of actually hurting her Pokemon with Munchlax. She does have a Gengar, which is susceptible to Fissure in this game, but I believe it also has Focus Blast, or at least some move to hit normal types, so it's not worth the risk. There is also Wild Murkrow in here. If you're playing Pokemon Shining Pearl, there's also Wild Misdreavus. So if you miss the chance to get them in Eternal Forest, you have another chance here. And I don't think we can run away because we're too slow. That's sad, but you know what? Skip this. Oh jeez, I just noticed something. If I was playing Shining Pearl and I was using this Munchlax, if one of those Misdreavus actually used Mean Look, I would not be able to run away. That is a scary thought, considering I could not even hurt a... I would not be able to hurt that thing, and it could not hurt it. It might not be able to hurt me either. Sorry about not organizing these items here, but I prefer having everything organized. And wow, Munchlax does have the highest HP stat in the party. And it's not even fully evolved yet. Yeah, I do know half the team so far is not fully evolved. We are actually getting close to the item to evolve Roselia, but I want to hold off a little bit longer just to give it all the moves I want Roselia to have. I think we have most of them already, and one move we actually get a bit later on. And I think this guy has only as a Cleffa. Cleffa. You would think by his Jackie who have a Gyarados. But this trainer here actually has a rather sad story because I believe he actually mentions that he does after you beat him, he says he does not hurt Pokemon like Team Galactic, which implies that they actually killed his Pokemon, which is rather sad. And it shows that even the most rough-looking people have emotions too, which is actually pretty serious in real life too, because you can never tell what someone's going through or how they're feeling. So yeah, just make sure anybody you might know, just watch out for them. Sorry to get all serious here, but hey, mental health is no joke. Up ahead though, there's this person here. What do you have? What are you doing with your child? Uh, he needs an adult, but the guy is an adult. He needs an adult here, adult. I can feel a thunder wave coming, and I know every fissure has missed so far, but I'll still gamble with it. We're tanking anything this thing can give out anyway. Shame. Ah, there it is. Thankfully, we do have 12 paralyzed heals, so it won't matter. And the speed drop doesn't really matter either because Munchlax was, again, tied for the slowest Pokemon in the series. At level 32, 33, this thing only has 11 speed. It'll get much faster as a Snorlax, but even then, this evolutionary line is not known for their speed. They can be speedy, but they're not known for it. And hey, it's the mascot. And we land Fissure on the mascot. If that ain't something hilarious, I don't know what is. That was great. We're all out of Fissures now, but it is what it is. We have Body Slam, which is much more reliable. And we're probably going to be keeping that for the entirety we have this Snorlax, too. I feel like we're going to get paralyzed now. Nope, I was wrong. There's that trainer out of the way. One problem with having this high of a level in this area now is that a lot of the experience we get, especially in the newer games, is not going to be great. But that's kind of my fault for taking so long to actually explore this area. I don't regret it, but it does hinder us a little bit. You can shake off your sorrows. That's kind of another problem with the graveyards in Pokemon, is that they can be shockingly depressing when they need to be, or whenever they want to be. But it's best not to dwell on it too long. Instead, let's dwell on how this is going to do nothing to Bonsly. Half. Okay, for a second I got really scared because I know that Bonsly and Sudowoodo got low kick, but I was not sure if they actually have it in this game. I think they... No, I'm pretty sure they still have it in this game. Because I know they got rid of Karate Chop, I believe. But regardless, there it is. My sorrow has deepened, she says, with that big smile on her face. And some extra backup here. Not on the items, but I'm going to switch out for Infernape, because I know he's our biggest damage dealer. So with the next gym being a Ghost-type gym, Murkrow is obviously going to be in control with most of the Pokemon there. However, since it is still unevolved, I won't be able to rely too heavily on it. Although, like I said, I'm fairly certain we're more than ready for the gym at this point. And let's see how much this does. Why am I questioning it? We're 20 levels above it. But hey, that bonsai survived a body slam, so you can never be too careful. Don't bite, Bubba. And of course we flinch. Oh well, at least we can save some PP. That attack buff. Die. And just shy of a level 2. Got a lot of giddy up and go in us. What is it with some of the slang in this game, or some of the sayings that people have? TM27 low sweep. TM27 used to be return, but because it's no longer in this game, they had to replace it with something, and low sweep was that move. We've seen a Macho Giza before. What it does is that it's a fighting type attack that will lower your opponent's speed, which can be useful, but I don't really see it too often. Let me go. Thank you. Another caveat to having a Munchlax and having it be slow is that we can finally have a use for some of our potions here. And I think this is the last battle before the top of the Lost Tower. You two are dating and you took her to a cemetery? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with both of you? At least we can see Ms. Revis for the first time. Or I think this is the first time. Surprisingly enough, we haven't really seen that many ghost types in here. Besides Murkrow, the other wild encounters, I believe, in this area are Zubat and Ghastly. So if you also wanted to get a Ghastly, you can also get one here. And we finally hit level 40. The memories of Murkrow with Gust. That was definitely a crit, so yeah, I believe this thing might have either super luck, or it actually just naturally got a crit. But regardless, they're done. And still a bit of a ways for Munchlax to get a level. This man couldn't impress his girlfriend. Call me Mr. Steal Your Girl. It's a lame joke. This is the reason why I wanted to hold off on this area. I was not sure if we needed defog, but I guess we didn't. That's kind of embarrassing. I'm so used to this area having a fog. Maybe that's just in Platinum? But anyway, this old lady here gives us strength. Lord, give me strength. Strength is, I mentioned this earlier, is a normal type attack that deals respectable damage. We might actually be able to put that on Munchlax for some extra power points, which I'll consider it. But it is also a field move, so now we're actually able to move those bolts out of the way, but not yet. The gym locking that hidden move in the field is actually the gym after Fantina. And yeah, here's a Zubat, which is super close because Fantina and the path to this next gym leader is just one surf away. There is some extra bonus stuff I can do between that, but I want to save that until after we beat the gym leader after we unlock it. Well, there's the other Pokemon that's in this area. But the reason why I want to hold off on those two side areas is because after we beat the 6th gym, we actually have access to our final team member, which is where we can finally lay Kricketune to rest. That was a very poor choice of words considering it's not dead, but we can finally put it in the PC. Wow, I did not mean to say something like that. That was bad. And I did not mean for it to be that bad. But yeah, once we beat the 6th gym leader, we can finally get our last team member and have our full complete team. So that's why I'm holding off on those next two areas so I can level up the last team member. But the next objective is Fantina. So we've made it back here to Heart Home City. I'm gonna heal up a little bit. And I'm gonna put the I'll put Manaphy up front because even though Murkrow is the key to this gym, I'm gonna hold off on Murkrow for since technically he's a secret weapon. Although now that I think about it, since we do have Tail Glow, we might not even need it. Although to be fair, I'm pretty sure 2 out of the 3 Pokemon Fantina uses have access to attacks that Manaphy is weak to. But we'll see what happens. One thing unfortunate about Fantina's gym in this game is that it's the puzzle in the original games, and I think this game too, is so much different than Platinum. Because in Platinum it's such a unique idea of being a maze that you have to use a flashlight to go around. But in this game, and the original Diamond and Pearl, it's math. What is 3 plus 5 plus 7? The answer is 15. But I'm going to take the wrong answers just to get Munchlax a bit more experience. It does mean that we're going to be over-leveled a little bit more, but as I said, once we reach the late game, it's going to be insignificant. Because trust me, once you see some of the late game levels, it's not going to make much of a difference. I say that now, but the more I think of how many trainers are in between us, as we are right now, and by the Pokemon League, we might actually be at the same level as the Elite Four and Champion. Because we're already level 40 at the 5th gym. I'm not saying I'm upset with that, but it just strikes me as so odd. Because when I played Diamond as a kid, by the time I reached the Pokemon League, I was just barely level 50. Granted, I never really thought to like form my own team from scratch, like how I do now. And I even caught some of the Pokemon in Victory Road to help me with the Pokemon League, which is kind of what you're meant to do. But I guess I'm just not really used to having such a high level at that point. But again, I keep saying this, it kind of is what it is. I'm just glad I get to experience at least an updated version of Pokemon Diamond from how it was back then. There is a... This is a remake, not the same thing as a remaster. And it's kind of similar to another game I want to play after I finish this one. I will not spoil what it is until I reach the end of the game. But the game I want to play is a remaster. And it is a bit of a controversial pick, considering it is rather recent, kind of like how these games are now. But I'm kind of losing my train of thought here. It's a bit of a controversial game, mostly because of the spectacle around them and how people are really knowing them for their glitches and comparisons to the original. But I haven't played it myself, and I kind of want to see how it compares up to it. And if the additions they made to it really make it the same in terms of quality. 12 plus 28 is 40, but again, taking the wrong answers here for experience. But as I said, I'll cover the game itself, I'll talk about it when I beat this game. Because I don't want to bog myself down with too many projects all at once. Especially with me being in school currently and having other life responsibilities. Speaking of life responsibilities, I think that's why stuff like video games are so popular, but especially stuff like streaming and even YouTube videos. 100% plus with how life is right now with this pandemic. But it's kind of not good in a way. Not good. But in a way, it's kind of fun how video games have, as cheesy as this is gonna sound, video games have kind of always been there for us as like an escape from reality. And I don't mean like, oh, we can like we're literally escaping reality, but it gives us a break of some of the stresses of life, and it just gives us a chance to relax. Although there are games that can get us salty, and competitive games that are online with people that could be rude people, but overall, video games have been just a really cool way to connect people and just to connect people and kind of make life a little less stressful and annoying for some of us. Getting really deep in this episode, but I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say here. I think there's only one last question after this one. We're kind of wasting all our bubble beam PP here, but it's no stress. And I think there should be one more because the next floor above this one, it has ace trainers in them, and I believe they should have stronger ghost types like Haunter. Here, I think is actually the first time we've seen Drifloon. Drifloon I mentioned in the Valley of Windworks episode. By the time I'm playing this, it's not currently Friday, so I can't really go there and catch my own. But I can actually at least explain Drifloon a little bit. It is a ghost flying type, which should have Shadow Ball this early in the game, at least in these remakes. It's similar to Munchlax in that it's an HP monster, and a bit of a glass cannon in that it can do damage, but it's not really a tank. Kind of. It has high HP, which makes it a tank, but its defenses are rather low. It also gets abilities like Unburden and Flare Boost, which make it a really potent attacker. And it gets stuff like Acrobatics, which make it a good mixed attacker as well. So it's not bad by any means, but I believe there are other Pokemon that can do what it does better. But if it is something that you like, feel free to use it. It's not. I've used it myself, at least not in these games, but I've used it myself in original Diamond and Pearl. It's pretty alright. But there we go, we have another trainer out of the way. And getting ever closer to some level ups. Finding one in the correct path this time. And what is this last question for us? I believe this one actually has a multiplication too. 3 times 13. This should be 39, so we're going to go in the other doors again. Is there 4 questions? I thought it was only 3. Well, to be fair, I haven't really played the Diamond and Pearl card home gym in a while. And hey, nothing wrong with more experience. Another Drifloon here. This gym, in comparison to the Veilstone and Pastoria gyms, obviously it's a higher level because of what we have to go through before reaching it, but it's still not drastically higher. I believe these trainers are only around the 26, 27 mark? Well, 28. So it's not drastically higher, but it is a noticeable jump. I honestly got confused for a second, thinking I was playing Platinum again, because we're actually around level 40, and this is the same level as the Canalay City gym, which is gym number 6 in this game. Well, it was still 6, but 6 in a different order. And we are running out of bubble beams, but we should have just enough for the gym leader. Pokemon and history, some of my 2 favorite subjects. Yeah, I'm actually a huge history buff. Well, I don't know everything about history, but I would say I know a fair bit. I'm actually still in school, as I mentioned earlier, and what I'm doing in school is actually teaching. And one of the subjects I want to teach is actually history. The reason why is because I find interest in some of the older aspects of culture and society, and how it can compare to civilization today, and how, even though the world is much different, it is important to learn about the world back then, not to shape how society is today, but so that we can learn from society's past mistakes and benefit from them. And I mentioned this last episode, but I thought I skipped Whirlpool, which we did not, and I'll learn Whirlpool now. Acid Armor is a great move that can buff our defense, and I might have made a mistake in deleting it instead of Charm, but Charm and Acid Armor are both good moves, and I think I didn't make a bad choice, but we needed some kind of additional attack power. Whirlpool is weaker, but it does do chip damage, so it does help. And yeah, we do have one more question for us. I'm rambling on again, changing subjects, but hope you guys can forgive me. What was the first room's answer? I believe that was 15, so last 2 rooms here. And here are the Ace Trainers. A waste of your time? Sir, I need the experience. You are nothing but a peon to me. You have a ghastly, sir. You have a ghastly and you are an Ace Trainer. And you're against the mythical. Drown. This probably won't KO, but it does KO. Ghastly is frail. More physically frail than specially, but again, we are a Manaphy. Haunter should live, though. So, with that being the case, I think I will Bubble Beam. We only have 6 left, so I wanted to save some, but it's not too big of a deal. Manaphy has proven more time and time again to be a monster, regardless of the move I use. And okay, you have a Gengar, I'll give you that. It might actually live a Bubble Beam. Level 30 Gengar, it should live. Maybe. It does. And we can't even use Bubble Beam anymore, which is fine. It landed Toxic. Okay, to be fair, Toxic is 100% accurate when used by a Poison type, which Gengar is. And Gengar living kind of proves how good Gengar is. It is fairly specially bulky. Not a tank, it's more of an attacker outright, special attacker outright. And it's a really good Pokemon, just in general. If you're using a Gengar, you made a good choice. But, there we go. Not even Gengar can stand in our way. And now our own Pokemon wants to learn Toxic. Now, the thing is, Toxic is much better than Stun Spore in what it does. Actually, you know what? I was thinking to myself, I'll probably use Paralysis more than Poison. Ah, see, this is my issue before. I wasn't sure if I wanted to use Poison Powder or Stun Spore. If I kept Poison Powder, I would have replaced it with Toxic. But since we're using... Actually... I'm sorry, guys, but the more I think about this, the more I'm kind of like sticking to this. I have Body Slam on Munchlax, and it gets a Yawn when it evolves. Or I can learn Yawn when it evolves. You know what? I'll give it a Stun Spore. Every time I use a Pokemon that learns Stun Spore and Toxic, I stick with Paralysis more than Poison because I find Paralysis to be more reliable with its speed drop. But with Rosalie and Roserade being more attackers, Roserade can be a support Pokemon as well, but I like to run it as more attack. But I'll do something different this time. It's the first Let's Play I've ever done on this channel, so I'll make it more unique. I'll use a move that I've never used before. And the way I'm talking right now, I hope it does not dissuade you from using Toxic, because it is a phenomenal move. It is probably one of the top 10 best moves in the whole series. I just prefer having Toxic on different Pokemon that are like bulkier, and that can survive using Toxic in order to spread it around to different Pokemon. It's probably a bad strategy, but it's what I use. Okay, so I think Mischievous can actually live a Whirlpool, but let's see how it matches up. It is level 30. It tanked it. Jeez. To be fair, Whirlpool's not that strong of a move. Oh, goodness, it used Trick Room. It used Trick Room, jeez. Okay, so for those who don't know, Trick Room is a move that lets the slower Pokemon go first. It is also a very useful move in competitive, so I was not expecting it to be used now. Growl will do nothing because we're a special attacker. But yeah, this is another case of regular trainers having attacks that are very good and competitive. And Whirlpool, and as I said, Whirlpool itself is not really too good at doing damage, but it does trap a Pokemon and deal damage over time, which is useful, but not commonly used or seen in competitive from my knowledge. And now we're confused, so let's hope this works. And of course it doesn't. That is my luck on confusion. At least we can do slow chip damage with Whirlpool, but I feel like it's gonna be let go next turn. We dodge Growl. How do you dodge a Growl? And I think it goes free this turn. It does not. Next turn, I'm certain it goes free, though. I think that's all I can do. Growl, Confuse Ray, Trick Room, and an attack move, I'm assuming? We can finally attack this time. Goodbye, Mischievous. And what do you have next? Some HP back. Next up, after some experience, is... and Trick Room is going away. Drift Blim. The evolved form of Drifloon. Very tanky, but we do have a Tail Glow Up. How much will this do? And Confusion goes away. Perfect. You would and Strength Sap. This will restore nothing, considering that Mischievous left us at minus 2 or 3 attack. Strength Sap is a move that will heal the user based off of the opponent's attack stat while lowering the attack stat. It is a very good move, but it's not good for repeated use against the same Pokemon. And this thing is going to get no HP back. Never mind, it got a sizable chunk. To be fair, with Manaphy being a mythical, it has base 100 across the board, so it does have some pretty decent physical attack, even though it's most definitely a special attacker. Regardless, it's down for the count. Some really good experience too, and we're done. And this should be the last right answer, and it is. See you guys in the next episode. Nah, I'm just kidding with you. We're taking out the gym leader now. I believe I mentioned this before, but with Fantina being having a French accent, I'm fairly certain she's native to Kalos, and it would make a lot of sense that she is. Fantina herself was probably one of, if not the most difficult gym leader in this region, in my opinion. No matter what game you challenge her in, maybe not this one, but in all the Gen 4 DS games, she was tough. She started out with this bulky Drifblim here. She has a Magius, which is a brutal special attacker. She has a Haunter or Gengar, depending on the version, which is very physically oriented. Well, not physically oriented, it's very tough depending on the version. And here, it's a brutal special attacker. And in Platinum, when she has a Haunter, it only has Shadow Claw as an attack, but it can put you to sleep, it can confuse you. I believe it can also either raise its evasiveness or cause another status affliction. I forget what it does, but I know it can put you to sleep. Sucker Punch is also what it has. So it has moves to hit a normal type, but you have to use an attacking move first. So it is her Haunter is exploitable, but it can be annoying. This Gengar, though, even though we outspeed, it is a very fast attacker. And Bubble Beam got disabled again, which is not too good in this situation. Our team is level 40 now for sure. Well, almost level 41 for half of them. Miss Magius, I'm pretty certain it'll actually outspeed us. Miss Magius is very fast and is a good special attacker. Not the most bulky Pokemon in the world, but do not underestimate it at all. It can learn moves like Magical Leaf and Thunderbolt to hit water types. It has a very strong Shadow Ball, It can get Mystical Fire in this game. What are you doing? Confuse Ray can confuse you. It gets Will-O-Wisp. I don't think she has one with Will-O-Wisp, but it can get it. So yeah, take Fantina seriously because this is level 36. By now, you should have a fully evolved starter, but if you don't, it can be a tough fight. And this is kind of why I had Murkrow in the back, because here we go, Magical Leaf. I mean, we're bulky enough to tank it, but if Manaphy went down for whatever reason, this is why I had Murkrow in the back. But thankfully we didn't need it because Manaphy is just that much of a monster. Taking on the entire gym on its own. Low power points and all. And with one last level for Frigatoon, and that's the badge. I will say I like Fantina's style in this game. They made her her flair so much better. Did our badges get clean somehow? Or cleaner? Because in this recording session, I did the Pastoria gym and this gym all in one session. And back then, in the first gym, our badges were super dirty. Anyway, the TM she gives us is Shadow Claw. It is a physically oriented ghost type move, which deals critical hits rather often. It's a pretty decent move, but it only fits on her Gengar, and even then, it's not good on her Gengar. Gengar is more of a special attacker, so Shadow Ball would have been better. But it is what it is. I don't think any of our team members now can use it. Maybe Kricketune, but I'm not going to use a TM on Kricketune. We're very close to getting our last team member. So I'm going to hold off on that. One rather, not bad thing, but annoying thing about this version of the gym is that once you meet the gym leader, there's a little path that teleports you back to the front. And that could have been more useful. But here we have Cynthia waiting for us. I thought the game glitched out for a second because I was not expecting it to go in this little cutscene. I thought she would just talk to us. But her grandmother told us about what happened. And that Team Galactic is more of a threat than she initially thought. And she mentions the library in Canalave City. And Canalave City is our next destination. So with all that being said and done, we have our next objective set out. I'm not gonna end the episode just yet. I want to at least go to the route. But I gotta heal up first because we just did a gym. And even though Manaphy is the only one that took damage, it's better to be safer than sorry. With all the HMs that we have available now, though, with Surf, Rock Smash, not Strength just yet, but we're pretty close to it. There are 2 areas. Are there 2? Yeah, there's 2 new areas available to us. But as I mentioned, I don't want to do those areas just yet, solely because I want to level up our last team member in those routes, or in those areas. So we're gonna head straight there, straight to Canalave, and see what is available for us next. But before we do that, there is actually one more thing we can do in this area that I do kind of recommend going to. Here is the Pokédex building, and if you talk to the chairman over here, he developed a new app for us. Several, actually. There is the memo, which I will show off right now if I can. Where is it? Right here. So this memo pad, you can actually just draw or make several messages, or even draw a little picture for yourself. I personally don't use it because I'm no artist and I don't really jot down notes like this, but if you find use for it, you can. It's pretty useful. However, this app right here, the marking map, this is probably going to be one of the more important ones for sure. The marking map if I can get to it, shows off the entirety of the Sinnoh region. These 6 little markers right here represent the 6 stats: HP, attack, defense, and so on. So you can actually move these little icons around and move them to specific routes that you can use for EV training to train in a specific stat. Whether it be against a Pokemon specifically or against a trainer, if you want some experience, it's very, very useful. But the reason why I recommended picking up that app the most, we'll go over that a little bit later when I get the chance to show it off. But it is a rather important thing. And I believe that should be it for now. Yeah, that's it for now. There are more apps that he can give us, but we haven't gotten enough gym badges yet. But now that that's all said and done, we can return to this area here, and because we finally have access to Surf, we can actually move forward to the rest of this route here. And do you give us anything now? No, she still just talks about her boyfriend. But that's all for today's episode. We managed to explore the Lost Tower and get the TM for strength. We challenged the Hard Home Gym, and were successful. And in the next episode, we'll continue on to Canlave City and see what's in store for us there. See you guys then. Peace.